morning Year 4 and welcome to your reading test for today. So it's all about A Place for Plastic, and it's a story of a plastic bag and the journey it goes on. So we're going to be looking at some pictures and text and answering some questions about these. Let's get started. Where on earth is the place for plastic? Shopping delivered, this bag's job is done. It's time for a new adventure. But where? So number 1. What do you think is happening in these scenes? So have a look at the pictures. There's 2 pictures. What do you think is happening in those pictures? Number 2. As well as the vehicles and trolleys, what else can be seen in the car park? Let's have a good look. What can you see? Would you do anything differently to any of those people pictured, and why? So have a look. What are the people doing? Would you do something different to them what they are doing? So pause the video now and answer the 3 questions in your book. Freedom. What a treat for the bag to swirl and glide above the vast open world. Carried on the wind, it reaches a river that snakes through the land and follows the path to the shore. Number 1. What does the word freedom suggest about what has happened to the bag? So think about the word, what the word freedom means and what is happening to the bag now. Number 2. What does the word snakes tell us about how the river moves? And number 3, where do you think the bag was meant to end up? So have a look at the picture. Where do you think it was meant to be going? Again, pause the video here and have a go at answering those questions. Under the surface of the sea is a world filled with wondrous creatures. Such fun it is to drift with them for a while, but these are not plastic bags, and they swim away. Number 1, what other creatures are in this picture? And which ones are compared to the plastic bag? So look carefully at the picture. What creatures can you see and which looks similar to the plastic bag? Number 2, what is a turtle doing and what problems might it encounter? So what might happen to this turtle? What problems could happen to it? Number 3, how might the bag be feeling now? Have a think. How might that bag be feeling whilst it's in this water? Again, pause the video now and answer those 3 questions. Light flickers and fades over a cascade of colour. How beautiful it is beneath the waves, oh, to be part of the patchwork. Number 1, how many living things can you identify at the bottom of the ocean in this picture? Let's have a look. What living things can you see? Number 2, what impression do you get from the words patchwork and cascade of colour? So think about what you think those words mean and how do they look in this picture. And then number 3, what would the bag see as the pros and the cons of its situation here? So what do you think it's thinking is good and what do you thinking is bad? Again, pause the video and answer those questions below. A friend breaks free from the surface above and sinks through the cool water. 2 twisted plastic arms, a grizzled plastic face, a pointed plastic sword in his hand. Another explorer joins the search for a place to belong. Number 1, who or what is the friend mentioned in the text? Number 2, what dangers might there be for the fish here? So if you look at this picture, what could be the dangers, what problems could the fish have? And number 3, if the new explorer were to speak, what do you think he would say? So pause the video again and answer these questions. With its new friend in tow, the bag is fished from the water in a flurry of feathers. What a ride! The wind whips and the bird caws, but a bag is no food for a greedy gannet. Number 1, how would you describe the gannets in these pictures? So it says the word gannet. What do you think it's describing with that word? Can you spot an example of alliteration on this page? Remember what the word alliteration means? And can you find an example of it in this text? And number 3, what might happen to the pirate? So what do you think is going to happen to the pirate? Have a look where it is on the picture and what might happen to it next. Again, pause the video now and have a go at these 3 questions. The pirate may have found its next adventure, but the bag's journey is not over yet. A ripple, then a splash, and a huge beast bursts through the waves. It rises and hangs in the air before crashing back down to the sea. Number 1. What kind of new creature has appeared and what do you know about it? Number 2. How does the language on this page help to describe the size of the creature? So look for in the text, look what word has described the creature and which word describes its size. Number 3, where do you think the bag will end up next? So you've got to predict what's going to happen to this bag next. Pause the video and answer these questions. The creature plunges down through a brightly coloured cloud. Here, plastic particles dance in a shawl of their own, but no plastic as large as a bag lives here. Number 1, what mix of objects is surrounding the whale? Number 2, how would you describe the whale's feelings and why? So look at the whale, how do you think he's feeling? And number 3, why is it suggested that this is not the place for a plastic bag? Why do you think this shouldn't be the home for a plastic bag? Again, pause the video now and answer these 3 questions. The water grows darker, the deeper they dive. The light falls away. The journey goes on, more of the same. There is only the never-ending sea. Number 1, how does this view of the ocean make you feel? So what do you feel when you look at this picture? What impression do you get from the words, the journey goes on, more of the same? So what does that make you think when you hear those words? And number 3, why do you think the sea is described as never-ending? So have a good think about these questions while you pause the video and write them answers down. After an age, the bag rises towards a tapestry of stars. What is that waiting in the light of the moon? A new land to discover and settle. Could this be the end of the journey so long? A place with a purpose for the plastic. Okay, so what is a tapestry of stars? Have a think, what do you think that could mean, a tapestry of stars? Number 2, what could be waiting in the moonlight? Let's have a look in the picture. What do you think is waiting? And number 3, which do you think is more of danger, the whale or the plastic bag, and why? So make sure you explain why for this question. So pause the video and answer these 3 questions. Number 1, why do you think there are no words at all on this page? What sounds and smells might accompany the scene? So if you were there, what do you think you could hear and what do you think you could smell? And what objects do you think might be found if you could zoom in on this picture? So if you could have a really close-up look at the picture, what do you think you can see? Pause the video and answer these questions now. Where is this place for all this plastic? All the journeys seem to end here. Is the adventure over? Is there nothing more than this? So what plastic objects can you see now with more of a close-up view? So write down what you can see in the picture. What journeys do you think some of these objects have been on to reach its destination? So how do you think some of these objects have reached this place? And number 3, how does this picture make you feel and why? Okay, so it's important to explain why you feel like it. Pause the video now and have a go at them. Here, the scraps and the drags and the wastes of the world smother the suffering sea. This is a plastic place, but not the place for plastic. Number 1, what impression do you get from the use of the word smother? So what do you think that word means and why is it used here? Number 2, how long do you think the trainer and the pirate have been in the ocean and why? Let's have a look at the picture. How long do you think it's been there for? Do you think it's been there for a long time or a short time? And number 3, what is meant by this is a plastic place, but it's not the place for plastics? What does that mean? Again, pause the video now and have a go at the 3 questions. There must be a brighter future out there. Something more to be. Number Number 1, describe the weather in this picture. So what weather can you see? Number 2, what might the bag and the pirate be hoping for? And number 3, what do you think the bag has learned from this journey so far? So what do you think it might have learned? Pause the video again and have a go at writing the answer to these questions. Not left in the shallows, ignored and overlooked, choking the life from the ocean. So what new dangers could the bag be about to face? Let's have a look at the picture. What new problems could the plastic cause here? And number 3, can you think of another word to replace left in this sentence? So not left in the shallows. So could you think of a word you could use instead of left? Pause the video again and have a go at these. Put found and collected, reclaimed and recycled, made use of before it's too late. Is there a place on earth for plastic? Number 1, can you spot where the bag, the trainer and the pirate are and what possible outcomes for the bag now? So can you find in the picture where the trainer is, the pirate is and the plastic bag and what might happen to the bag now? And then number 2, what effect do the brighter colours of the shore have compared to the ocean pictures? So if you look at this picture, it's a lot brighter now. Why do you think that is? And number 3, what lessons could we learn as humans from this book? So what do you think we could learn from thinking about this plastic bag and its journey? Okay, so pause the video and have a go at these next questions. Okay, now you've done, make sure you take a picture of all your brilliant answers and upload them to Dojo for your teacher to have a look.